Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Satsang. For those who don't know, we use WhatsApp as a means of communication. You can send your questions and I will answer them as they come. Let's make some silence first. There is nothing, no world, no one else, just absolute emptiness. So as the world is standing still, it is a very good opportunity to intensify spiritual practices. So if you can, just make sure to prepare everything so that you don't have to leave your place, and use your time available to deepen and intensify your practices. If more people start doing that, I'm sure um, that a lot of good questions will arise to answer, and this will enrich those who are listening but don't really um, have begun or don't really understand these processes. So for this time, uh, to make the best use of time, it is important to be um, calm. Um, how do you say this in English? The word is serenity. It is important to have serenity in these moments, because a lot of people may get scared, and this becomes a big body of restlessness, of fear, that starts taking everybody along. So, to intensify practices, you must be out of these fears and out of these things. This is very important, or else it will be very difficult or even impossible to deepen, to maintain or deepen spiritual practices. Well, I will answer your questions. So you were asking, according to the last satsang, about this. I was talking about. I was talking about these fears of finding a wrong master or something like this, and the judging all what is happening in the spiritual environments. And I was telling that it is much better for you to prepare and to become a very good seeker of truth, the best one, than to mingle yourselves into these judgments and evaluations and all of this. So this question, because of this, so this quote from Shankara came in my mind. If you really have a desire for liberation, avoid the senses from a great distance as you would poison, and continually practice the nectar-like qualities of contentment, compassion, forbearance, honesty, calm, and restraint. These are the six qualities needed. So, what did Shankara know what he was talking about? Who was Shankara? He wasn't saying, oh, there's nothing to be done, just continue with your worldly life and all of this, and you are the great, you just need to find something. It is like this. So, if you have a desire for liberation, avoid the senses from a great distance as you would poison. So, this all this sense stimulation, this sense gratification, this makes you more and more trapped into delusion. Even if it is a delusion that you are uh, growing and moving and becoming more free, more enlightened. I don't know what that means. I've heard these terms a lot of times. I'm more free. I'm more awake. I'm more, or you're awake or you're asleep. more free. There's no such thing. You may understand a little bit better. You may become a little bit more wise, and that will help you to gain more and more distance, dispassion from sense objects, uh, worldly um, investments. And this practice, these nectar-like qualities of contentment, compassion, forbearance, honesty, calm, and restraint. This can be misinterpreted also because uh, this is in a very concrete circumstances, because this is for the one who is avoiding this senses like poison. So it's someone who has retreat from the world, because you can practice these qualities: contentment, compassion, forbearance, honesty, calm, and restraint, and this will make you a good person, a nice person. That's it. So this is in a specific content, in the context of the spiritual quest, where you have already understood that what is this sense gratification, and this is to be avoided as poison. Then the practice of these qualities with the spiritual disciplines, this is what makes the seeker worthy of the life of the process. And these days, there's a lot of people practicing this, or at least trying their level best, and they don't even understand that this is the motivation, the deeper motivation behind. It's not about freedom, it's about being recognized as a good person, as a loving person, uh, so that and through this, they imagine that they will get what they are looking for. So the practice of these qualities only, depending on the circumstances, may take you even into a bigger delusion, and you will have the same how do you say, the same efforts in doing this, but what you get out from it is different. Also, what put on the quest of these qualities to complete these 9 keys. From Shishankara, 9 keys to self-realization. My question was more, is this all that I need to prepare? Well, for your question, this is very important to prepare. And like I said, intensifying your spiritual practices, making your process alive, making your work steady, hard, sincere, devoted, so that the life of the process can arise. And you will see as it comes, you will see that it is arising. But in this specific context, for the one who is in the jaws of the tiger, according to your last description, uh, it is, how do you say this? It is quite easy to pick up these, what I was talking about, and the development of becoming the best seeker of truth as a way to move from the jaws of the tiger. No, let me prepare this, let me stay here and working these things out. If there's no other way, because if you're in the jaws of the tiger, that must mean something. So working on these things, it is important, but not as a mean to get out from the tiger's jaw. And that can be easily made, because this is very tricky. So preparing these qualities, this means that you are paying attention in your during the day, during the activities you have and the contacts you have with the world. because this is the stage where you prepare these qualities together with intense meditation, and even the studies of some scripture, uh, and that will do just fine. Okay, now I'll answer this Peter's question. Hi Shrima, what would a spiritual day look like in the life of a sincere seeker where time is of no concern? For example, a 6 months beginner routine. Well, there's a lot of things here because um, that depend on the seeker, because not all seekers are equal even as beginners, and a 6 month beginner routine. So the sincere seeker is the one who is uh, after liberation. And he's a beginner because he has to start somewhere. So usually they start in the beginning. Um, but this 6 month, what does this mean? Because it is till the end. The seeker of truth goes till the end. There's no stopping and there's no graduation. So in 6 months, I'm a beginner, then I will be intermediate or whatever. Or if it's just I'll make this routine for 6 months, then I'll stop or I'll go back to normal life. So if you can improve your question here, this will help a lot. It will make the answer more complete. But okay, so let's say that you're a sincere spiritual seeker and you don't have a problem with time, and you're a beginner. So what to do? Well, if you know a spiritual, some meditation technique, for example, you can use it. I have taught a meditation technique also in previous satsangs. They have been putting this available on the chat. And if you have time, so, well, you can start by implementing, depending on what you can handle. This is why it is important that, because a routine, it's not a general routine. It's about you and what you can handle. So, for example, um, you can start by putting a 5 hours meditation a day, for example, sitting through 1 hour. And you can put this starting at 2 o'clock in the morning, for example, 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, then rest 1 hour because this is the best period. Then 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, then rest, then do more, three sittings, half in the morning, in the afternoon, and evening before going to bed, for example. Then you have these 5 hours and you see during a week how you're feeling with this. Then you start increasing the time. Or you increase the time, you can increase the time during the day, for example, 1 hour plus sitting, and you can start increasing this morning 2 to 3 and 4 to 5. You can start increasing the length that you stay in one sitting. Uh, and this depends because bodies are different and they react different. And if you cannot sit on the floor, sit on a chair. There's no problem with it. Just if you sit straight, steady, firm, it will be the same. So you can sit, you can increase the length of your sittings, the first and the second, which is more easy. Then the others, the body may feel a little bit more pain. Then just continue with the 1 hour sitting. So you can move up to 1 hour and a half, 2 hours straight, because this morning 2 to 6 is the best period. So this for long sittings is best. And then during the day, Do as much as you can. If you start with the 5 hours and then you increase the length of the first two, then you can put one extra hour, start changing the time for 6 hours a day, 7 hours, up to 10. Then you continue. If you don't have a problem with time, you can do this. If you can do it in 1 month, going to 10 hours, or you can take longer, because this 6 months, uh, everybody evolves in a different way. So you can start with something and you move on to increasing the time that you are the sittings and the length of the sittings. But this doing a program for a few months, this is it doesn't work like this. So you intensify it and you put in yourself like I explained in the other video. Steady, constant, uh, same hours, same place, same time. As you increase, you maintain with discipline, and like this, it moves. So if the calling is there, you're a sincere seeker. Eventually, as you persist and you intensify, eventually the life of the process starts appearing, and then it starts directing your practice. The needs that are for you specifically, and all these things, time, techniques, and all these things will be there. Assistance is there for the one who is waiting for it sincerely. So if you can improve these questions, that would be better. So of course, watch the other video about meditation. It gives a lot of clarifications, but diet here plays a big role also. So light food, if in the beginning, if you're not able to maintain just once a day eating at noon, you can start with a light breakfast, just some fruits, a little bit of porridge, and no dinner, just these two, and then move just for lunch. But also, the more you meditate, the less food you will need, and the more subtle you make the food, the better your meditation will be. But this is all explained more or less in the other video, so it is good for you to see the other video. And then if you have more questions about meditation, then you can send and we can improve the, the information. But preparing and starting this journey, uh, and this is more or less an answer for the previous question. This developing these things, it is very important, it is basis, but eventually uh, tests will be there, and there's no point in working these things if you're not willing to move forward. So whatever practice you will engage, it will bring tests, it will bring situations. First, for you to stop your practices, and then if you continue to push them, some things have to be left behind. Some decision will have to be made, something, because two worlds will be colliding. And then you will have to choose, and according to your choices, then some doors will open, others will stay shut. Um, if you don't make the right decisions according to your process, then you will not even see certain doors. They will be, you will not even see that you're missing uh, important things. Because usually when you are in these positions, you don't see a way out. You don't see the safety of tomorrow. You don't see how things will turn out. So this is where faith plays its part, and where you show what are really your priorities. So eventually, if you start doing these practices, then you will come to this point. So this, for example, people that say, oh, I will take 1 year or 6 months to deepen the practice. What does this mean? Well, it means that you are taking 6 months to deepen the practice, and then you'll go back to normal life. So there is a limitation in how deep things can go, because your world is secure, it is guaranteed in tomorrow. So the depth that you can go, it is very little, very little. So this is why it must be complete dedication. So it is a journey of continuing with your life, with the goals, aspirations that you previously had, or to the goal of awakening. And from where you stand, if you start this uh, as a beginner, you start increasing your practices and all of this, then you will start being confronted by things that were important to you versus these new things that are important to you, and which ones will win. This is all the time, it is coming. So, but if this is not sincere and it is something to improve your life, uh, it will not quite work this way, because it will be used in with a different mindset. So you will not be able to intensify or deepen. So whatever you can practice, usually it is more study. It is to incorporate and to improve whatever you are living as a tool to help you to get to your image of happiness. And this is something else. So, and for this, these things have a duration, you see. For the seeker of truth, uh, for life to come, for the journey to be real, there must be full dedication. You see, that life of that individual has to be given to that quest, no matter what happens. Because if this is not done, it is very little what you can do. And it may seem a lot, but it is little. And this is why it is said that it takes many lifetimes and it takes a lot of time and all of this, because your mind doesn't let you invest as you could. So what the work you do, it is very small. So these decisions, they are the basis to build and to live a real process, a real quest with a real ending. And as you continue, you will see that in the beginning you can identify with, for example, if you're a beginner and you don't have your life has nothing to do with spirituality. And then you start looking, you start meeting new people and all of this. Um, in the beginning, you can identify with a lot which is written, a lot about which is said, and all of this, and with people around you. But as you continue, you will see that this will reduce and reduce and reduce. And the more you intensify, the more you move forward, the less you will be understood, the less support you will have. And these are important tests because without this determination, it makes it very difficult or even impossible. So it has to be found in some way. And the beginning is filled with a lot of important circumstances that will come to you that sometimes you don't even associate it with your spiritual practices, but all the time, everything it is connected and has to do with your work, with your need, what you need to develop, what you need to let go, and all these things. So as you move, it is something that becomes alive, and as you choose and move on, you let things behind you, and more this becomes a lonely path. Okay. Can you speak about pranayama? I practice free row without retention before meditation. Is that good? Also, I have a question regarding Surya Namaskar. Is it good to practice a few like one round a day? Everything you can do, it is very good. Yes. Um, Pranayamas, they prepare for meditation and they can even be used as meditation. So it is very good. Free row this depends on the kind of pranayamas you're practicing, and because you can even increase this. Retention without retention is good because you need to make your body and your mind more subtle to practice retention. So as you have not achieved this, this is good. But then pranayamas with retention can be a very good meditation technique. So if you want to improve this, also. And Surya Namaskar also, you can increase it, even these one, one round. One round, uh, what does one round means? Because is it a series or just one? Hmm? You can increase this also, not in the night and not before meditation. Also, don't waste time with this. Maybe after the morning meditation, after this period of 2 to 6 in the morning, then as the sun is coming, then you can practice the Surya Namaskar. The evening is not that good because it brings a lot of um, restlessness, but active energy. So this for the evening is not that good because it will disturb. But pranayamas, yes, you can increase without retention. And this three in a row, three cycles with countings, or for example, with 5 or 10 um, pranayama exercises 3 times, or just three in and out breathings. Practice like 6 rounds for 16 rounds for Surya. Okay, good. Mm. 6 times pranayama on each side. And then you do this 3 times. Good. And depending on what is, you can increase it. Mm. But if these if the body is not too prepared, is not clean, the if it is still gross, not subtle, uh, it is better to prepare food, make food more subtle. I think you've been doing this. And pranayamas uh, that are more gentle, not those that are more with jerky movements, too intense. For this you need a body more cleaned. And for meditation, it is better to make it gentle, soft. And all these things, they help in deepening the meditation. Well, it seems that we don't have any more questions, so we'll wait a little bit. Just let's stay a bit silent. After an hour sitting, the pain is like a knife pulling me out of the cushion. It seems that even if I affirm stillness, the mind doesn't want to let go the pain. The attention is hard to turn. Is there any trick or advice this turning inwards? So now you're seeing the what is really real for your mind. So saying that I'm not the body. Now you can say you're not the body. And nothing to be done. There's no movement to do. Nothing to run away from, no pain to avoid. Because you're not the body, so the pain is not yours. It's very easy to say I'm not the body when you're lying down comfortably. So this is the thing. One is self-delusion, and the other one it's seeing that what are the deep beliefs. So this willing to get out from there. So is it real or isn't it real? And you will see that yes, for you it is quite real. So in this you have to in a way conquer your detachment from this pain, and you can do a lot of things like the pranayamas, the surya. Diet plays a very important trick on this, and to make your energy subtle and subtler and subtler and subtler. But pain is there to prepare you also. It makes you stronger. So whatever pain you are experiencing, it is there to help you, to prepare you also. So the best thing to do is to take it as much as you can without moving, and then take it a little bit more, and then you have to move a little bit, do it slowly, and as soon as possible get back to the posture and work on this. Don't let your mind being impressed by this. So you will see that you are limited to a certain extent, but with time and persistence, you will see that this limitation starts to decrease and decrease and decrease. And then you will be able to see that I am not the body, nor am I the mind. But as you are entangled with these things so much, that you become so impressed by the pain that is arising, then what is the meaning of saying I'm not the body? It will mean nothing. It is superficial, but the real deep beliefs are those ones. So like the situation that you are describing as being in the jaws of the tiger. So you're not the body, so the context in which that body is means nothing, but still pain is there because that is not your real belief. So by knowing these things, by having the vision of them, then you can make a difference. Without it, without touching these knots, then whatever you are doing is just nothing. So pain it is there and starts pulling you out because it is the purpose, is to make you impressed and go back to where you were so that you don't endanger what you call your reality. And this is the fight. In meditation, after meditation, eyes open, eyes closed, there is this struggle. The only game being played, awakening or maintaining illusion. The only thing. So as things come when you have your eyes closed during meditation or eyes open during the day, it doesn't matter what comes, and you have to practice this 24/7, not letting your mind being impressed from negativities, and more importantly, from the good things, from the good surprises, from the good happenings. Because if you're just practicing this towards negativities, towards discomfort, you're still in balance. Because if you're still hankering for the good things, then you'll be in balance. There's no equanimity. And you will be continuous subject to being impressed. So to allow this passion to grow, you need to become, you need to detach yourself from all these impressions and not letting your mind to waver in the presence of pain, discomfort, things that you don't like, things that you like. And this is something that you need. And no matter what happens, as you develop this, the more untouched you will be, and you will able to remain there at the source. So this pulling inwards means you cannot yet remain there. There is a struggle. You're trying to move inwards, something is pulling outwards. I see the seeker of well-being arise when the good things happen. Yes, and this you cannot allow. Because if you allow this and you go, oh, and you let your mind agitate, oh, very nice, very nice. Like, oh, very bad, this is agitation. You cannot allow these two states. And usually what people do is they just remember this. When things that they don't like happen, when things that they don't want, not the things that they desire, not the things that they want, they don't usually remember this, but it is the same. And these things are worse than the bad things, because the bad things, you have a bigger stimulus to practice this distance. The good things, oh, it's less stimulus. So this is even worse, even worse. Because it's like if you have a prison cell that is dirty, doesn't have a bed, you lie on the floor in the cement, and all of this, uh, then you don't want to stay there. Your mind will be constantly thinking about getting out from there. But if the prison is very nice bed, clean, perfume, uh, all conditions there, TV, cable TV, on all these things, all the amenities. Then you may try because, oh no, I'm in a prison, let me try to get out from here. But this trying will not be as intense as it could be. And eventually you know, okay, well, it's not that bad. It's quite comfortable. So let me just stay here. Yes, the mind says surrender all, but in the background he hold on and hide what he protects. Even now, I am aware that the mind plays and twists all the words. Being aware is very important. Not hiding things from yourself, not trying to build some make believe situation or make believe, how do you say this, point of your maturity. If you're not being able to cross through something, just don't hide it, don't run from that perception. Uh, be honest, because if nothing else can help you, this eventually will help you. And ask for help also. Another question, putting earplugs, is that good when all the house goes crazy while sitting in the daytime? No, don't. This is trying to create a situation. Uh, no, not creating a situation. There is an attitude of rejection, of trying to control the environment, or there's a, how do you say this, in the words? animosity towards that situation. So if you're practicing during daytime, where others that live in that house, they are in their normal, and if there are kids, for example, you can ask an adult, please don't do too much noise now. But asking a child this is impractical, and this is disturbing even the child's reality. So if you're going to meditate, you don't have any other choice. To find a place where you can sit silent. Then sit with whatever noise is there and continue to practice your technique, whatever you are doing. Just keep on doing it in the middle of all that. Don't try to contain the situation, to hide yourself from the situation. Don't create animosity towards that situation. Just have this to yourself. If you're sincere enough, if you're persistent enough, whatever is there for a reason, helping you, testing you. And if when all that noise is not needed anymore, your situation will change. So learn the best that you can there, because if it brings agitation, anger, and all of these things, well, use that as a means to get a distance from all these feelings, emotions, preferences, and all of these things. This is very good work. See, everything is work all the time. But fighting these circumstances, this is not good. It doesn't take. See, if you can have a place which is quiet, for example, in that house, when people sleep, it is quiet. So you will use this time to deepen your practices. During the day, deepening is not very possible. It is if you continue the sittings, just the sittings. If you increase them, okay, you can only sit for an hour. Okay, sit for an hour, rest another hour, and sit for an hour again. Rest another hour, sit for an hour again, or half an hour resting. See what's possible to you. And just for this sitting, this is intensifying already, because sitting in the right posture, it starts a lot of things. But you have this noise that you can't do anything about them. So use it and get distance, detach yourself from these preferences, these angers that can come, these agitations, all of these things. And don't give up. You put 1 hour, you sit for an hour, no matter what happens. And you keep on struggling, going back to the technique if this is too distracting. And this will be very good, very good. Even if there was no meditation, just wrestling here, that is still good, is still good. With time, it will pay. So let's wait a little bit if there's more questions. Next satsang will be, today is, okay, so today is Tuesday, so it will be Thursday. So in the weekend, not sure yet if there will be satsang. Let's see. If there is interest, there's questions. If not, we will stop and resume next week again. So let's see, you will determine how often this will go. So I think we're done for today. So until Thursday, continue, work hard, and grow.